Hello, everyone, and welcome to Battle of the Beast Reptile Rampage, episode number 19. I'm Adam, and today we got the third battle of round 2, where two more beasts are fighting out for one of those 8 spots in round 3, or the quarterfinals. So, with these two beasts fighting out, these are beasts which I've actually thought would both make it to the top 8 because of their sheer reputation and power that they had in previous tournaments. And to know that one of them's going to get eliminated, I kind of have a good guess who would be eliminated. But it's also a case of the other beast does have good attributes to them, which can probably save them from being wiped out very quickly, let's say. And that's me trying not to speak in riddles. Let's introduce them. Representing Series 19, the Kingdom of Dragons, the first beast from Series 19 that's going to be competing in this round, we have Strytor the Skeleton Dragon versus his opponent, a representative of Series 27, the Ghost of Caradin. This beast has done really well in the previous tournament they participated in, where they manipulated a special to do their bidding for them. But now they have to do the bidding for themselves because they didn't see much use in, controlling Vizlak. Will they see more use in trying to control Strytor? And will it work? Well, we'll find out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Gargantua the Silent Assassin. So, Strytor vs. Gargantua. This is going to be a rocky terrain arena. I think that's the best way I could explain it. Best arena I can pick. And with that, let's get to the stats. Strytor the Skeleton Dragon. This beast forms himself out of a pile of bones right before Tom and Alina's eyes. He takes the form of a vast skeletal dragon, glowing a hideous white against the night sky. Questers can see his fiery breath forming in his hollow belly, but are usually powerless to save themselves from its blasts. Age 301, power 282, magic level 188, fright factor 94, size 326. Powers and abilities: flight, fire manipulation and breath, disassembly and limited camouflage, resurrection and reformation, resurrection's banned, reanimation, natural weaponry, enhanced durability, minions, reanimated skeletons, and weaknesses is incapacitation. Gargantua the Silent Assassin. Gargantua does not have a bio in the Holy Bible just yet, so I can't say much about her. Powers and abilities, though, are Master Manipulator, Mind Reading, Mental Link, providing whoever's wearing the ring, Burrowing, Natural Armor, Natural Weaponry, Venomous Fangs, and Constriction. Weaknesses is Melting Weakness and Severed Mental Link. Right, and with the stats department done, and the battlefield picked up in the rocky terrain arena, let's get into this. Strytor versus Gargantua. As the chamber doors open, Strytor immediately bursts out through the sky exit, lands on a perch, has the fire glowing in his belly as he roars into the arena, trying to intimidate his opponents, whoever it may be. As Strytor looks to the other side, he doesn't see anyone exit from the chamber, but he does feel the ground starts to vibrate. As he comes down into the arena, he feels it vibrating beneath him. Realizing that his opponent must be underground, he decides to just stay completely still so his opponent will have a hard time trying to find him. Gargantua is burrowing around underground, unbeknownst to Strytor, though Gargantua is fully aware of what Strytor's thought process is, being able to read his mind and all that, and knows that he's just stood still in the middle of the arena waiting for something to happen. Gargantua proceeds to make all her tunnels all over the arena before going to the side of one and poking her head out to set her eyes on Strytor for the first time. Strytor sees that and breathes fire directly towards Gargantua. Gargantua dives back down into her tunnel, appears behind Strytor. Strytor turns around and breathes fire towards that, disappears again, Repeat, repeat, repeat. Holes are all over the arena. Strytor, getting frustrated by this, decides that he's going to try and predict which hole Gargantua is going to come out of, and stares directly at one, and decides to stare directly at one, waiting for Gargantua to appear out of it. Unbeknownst to Strytor, though, Gargantua is underneath Strytor and bursts out right underneath Strytor, knocking him to the side, disassembling his bones. As Strytor rearranges himself, Gargantua lifts up her tail and slams it down onto some of Strytor's bones, shattering them. As Strytor reforms with the bones that he has left, he takes off the bones from his tail with his claw, lashes it out towards Gargantua, knocking Gargantua back for him to be able to retrieve the rest of the bones which Gargantua separates from him. And as he's able to reform himself, he is a dragon without a tail. He uses the bones that is originally from his tail to reform them, put them on his wings instead. And he immediately takes up to the sky, breathing fire all over the arena, going right into the tunnels as well. Gargantua sees the flames all around her and, lifting up her tail, slams it onto the ground, shaking the ground, causing all her tunnels to collapse, but the fire to be snuffed out by the dust clouds and also from the dirt landing on top of the fire that was in the tunnels. Gargantua then goes through the smoke and the dust clouds, curls up right underneath where Strytor was flying, and launches herself upwards to bite down onto Strytor's leg and pull him down into the arena. Strytor, still breathing fire, angles himself to breathe fire directly on Gargantua. Gargantua winces in pain over this, but not wanting to back down from this, lifts up her tail and wraps it around one of Strytor's wings and yanks it off him completely. Does the same with the other wing, pulls that off, starting to feel her metal plates starting to slowly start melting away, but feeling the intense heat that's coming from her plates being subjected to that much fire. Gargantua then, using her tail, slams it onto Strytor's mouth, shutting his mouth and silencing the flames. Strytor, using his claws, pries at Gargantua's mouth, pries her mouth open as Gargantua's roaring in Strytor's face. Strytor disassembles himself quickly to cause Gargantua to drop him, and quickly reassembles himself. Does the same thing, prying the mouth open, but this time able to use his own mouth because Gargantua originally had her tail wrapped around it. Continues to breathe fire directly inside of Gargantua's mouth. Gargantua hisses in pain, but using her tail, lashes it, knocking Strytor's head, knocking the head clean off the body as the rest of the body deforms. As Strytor's body starts to reform himself, Gargantua realizes that Strytor won't be able to win if he can't reform himself. Using her head and her tail, she continues to try and smash the bones as they try and make their way to Strytor's head. Strytor eventually being able to reform himself and looking at himself, he's half the size of what he originally was. Gargantua is now curling up above him, looking down directly on to what was this ginormous dragon. Gargantua then says to Strytor, "You are a worthy opponent. Maybe one that's more worthy of having extra power from me. I offer you a truce. I will disappear, but I will help you get stronger so you can propel yourself forward into the tournament. You and I both know we are the strongest beasts here. If you team with me, then we will win." Strytor realizes that Gargantua is offering a proposition. Knowing that Gargantua can finish him off right now, Strytor is at first very confused by this. But Strytor also remembers legends or stories from the other Series 19 beasts about another during the previous tournament they were all in, where one beast did get corrupted by Gargantua, went on to go do really well, get really stronger, but then he remembered that Gargantua did backstab that beast towards the end of their run. Strytor realizes that he can agree to Gargantua's terms, but he knows that he's going to get backstabbed. Is Strytor prepared to take that risk? After what seems like hours or ages of silence, spectators are watching this, wondering what Strytor's going to say. Strytor eventually comes to a decision. He nods his head in agreement, letting Gargantua give him more power. Gargantua says, "Excellent. Now I shall form myself into a ring that you shall wear on your claw. And as long as that ring is with you, you and I will propel ourselves to the finals and win against whoever the unfortunate beast will be. We are gonna win this." Strytor remains modest and humble the entire time, watching Gargantua go from this huge bulking shape into a small ring perfect for Strytor's claw. Strytor picks up the ring, stares at it, but before putting on, he decides he's going to test a little firepower. He immediately builds up fire inside his stomach and breathes the fire directly on the ring. Immediately, he can hear the screeching from Gargantua in it, and the ring starting to grow in size rapidly. Strytor lifts up his claw and smashes it right into the ground, burying it underneath the earth as he continues to breathe fire on the earth, but also his claw. But his claw's not going to be affected by it because it's bone. Strytor, not taking any risks at all, is breathing as much fire as he can on it, whilst also submerging it underneath the ground, causing more inner heat. And in his claws, he can feel the metal starting to grow, but also melt away at the same time. As he feels the metal stop resisting and stop growing, he lifts up his claw and sees not a melted ring anymore, but Gargantua melted down to the size of an earthworm, still wriggling about with so much life. And all he can hear in a very high-pitched voice is, "You betrayed me. Now you don't get the extra power which I promised. You are not going to win this tournament now. It doesn't matter that I don't win anymore, but you're not going to win either. You are a backstabber, a traitor, and you do not deserve to win this tournament. No one who ever backstabs their teammates ever wins." Strytor listens to everything Gargantua says and just responds saying, "You're not my teammate," before he pulls his claw back and throws Gargantua right up into the sky, going over the walls of the arena, with a jet of fire coming from Strytor's mouth following suit as it incinerates the very small Gargantua right before the Gargantua can even hit the ground. Strytor, satisfied with his victory, knowing that one of the most dirty playing beasts has been defeated, he makes his way back to his chamber without even acknowledging the fans or spectators that are cheering his name. And with that, Strytor has won, Gargantua has lost. If you think Gargantua should have won, please comment below. You think that, how my words final, and Strytor's moving on to the next round. Now, I do need to say I am fully aware of how controversial of a pick this is probably for having Strytor win, but ultimately, if you're weak to fire, you're not going to win. But yeah, it did seem like Gargantua was going to win, offered Strytor a bone, and literally, and Strytor seemed like he took the bone, but he outsmarted the cunning beast, kept his mind clear so Gargantua couldn't read his mind and find out that he was going to backstab her. And yeah, this may have been a bit of a fight where there was a lot of exposition there, but to be fair though, this was a fight that I would have wanted later in the tournament, where I would not have to do that whole ring shenanigans. But because it's round 2 and there's still a good chunk of the tournament left, I thought, why not? But I'm also thinking Strytor's better than that. Strytor's shown he's better than that. He's strong without that ring. And it seems like a rather ironic way for Gargantua to go out, especially in a tournament where she tried cheating again. But then again, there aren't really many rules in this tournament, are there? So, yeah, okay, I didn't really think that part through, but what? I think this was a good fight. Personally, the best fight of round 2 so far, but then again, there's only been 2 fights. But yeah, with that, Strytor's moving on to round 3. Gargantua is out, and for that, we got 5 more battles left of round 2 remaining. Which battle will be next? Find out tomorrow on the next episode of Battle of the Beasts Reptile Rampage. Until then, peace out.